for months, I pronounced Alex's last name wrong. I left the R out. There's an R in there, right? It's like Grindin, and I think I was calling him Gindin and he didn't think it was funny. Like, he has a great sense of humor.
No, he's pretty good.
You know, but for some reason he has an issue with his last name. We're just podcasting. This is very informal. There's a camera there.
Okay.
There's a camera right there. And essentially what we do is we try to help people make content, because content does so much good for organizations. It helps them with their SEO and all that kind of stuff. And we know from experience that what Pitt did for us when we were in Alpha Lab and we were crowdsourced was invaluable. Essentially, you know, Alex and his team of grad students did our entire market study for us. And it was comprehensive. It was like this thick when they were done. And the best part is they gave me the front page, and it summarized it on the front page. I never really even had to like read the entire market study. I just copied and pasted it into our pitch deck, and Jim Jen was happy, and it was a thing, right? And all of this was done for essentially nothing. Like, I think we paid you guys like $300, and there was a promise of some other stuff, but you can tell us all about it. So introduce yourself, say who you're with.
My name is John Dobransky. I'm with the University of Pittsburgh Small Business Development Center. And what our mission is to help startup and existing businesses in the critical phases, either in the startup or a transition from expansion, or if they have other needs such as some technology help, market research. We do a lot more than assist you with writing your business plan. When you hear about SBDCs, the number one thing people talk about is we'll help you write your business plan.
And that's almost an outdated way of thinking at this point, right?
Absolutely. The business plan is a crucial document. I can tell you from my experiences that there are a lot of people that look at the business plan as something like a term paper, where they come, they write, I want a loan for, say, $50,000, and I'm going to work to get that, and they write the plan, and let's say that they're successful and they get $50,000 financing from, a bank or, an angel fund or what have you, and then they put the business plan in the drawer. And believe me, they're crippling their business by doing that, because quite frankly, trends change. We had, a director that always talked about if you're not growing, you're dying. And part of the trends is the research. It's the idea of making sure your products or services are filling the niche, making sure that something as simple as you're pricing it, accurately. Everybody worries about, am I pricing it too high? Pricing it too low is just as dangerous.
Yeah.
Now, with technology startups, I think that a lot of time gets wasted with, well, where do we fit in? And when they should be kind of looking inward and saying, what makes our product better?
Yeah. Well, I think we would completely agree with you from our experience. Like, we spent a lot of time writing a business plan, and a lot of people advised us against that in a lot of ways, because in modern technology startups, the business plan from sort of the people that are investing, nobody really reads business plans anymore, right? But from an organizational standpoint, the act of writing a business plan is so important, right? It allows you to essentially focus your ideas, document them, and then move forward from there, for sure.
Quite honestly, a complete business plan, and I certainly want to, let people know that you should not expect to sit down and write a business plan cover to cover in 2 days or a day, because that is basically a waste of your time. I would start with an outline, and we stress that you do the executive summary last.
Yeah.
Because as your business is going to change, when you write your business plan, this is, in a sense, a chance for you to think about your business in so many terms, not just the financial, but your marketing, things along that line.
Yeah.
And your goals may change. When you started that you're going to just say you're going to work on data management, and all of a sudden you realize, well, wait a minute, there's a storage component. And I know this sounds pretty elementary to some of the high-tech places, but you can use all their examples, but all of a sudden your business changed. Now, if you have a concrete, brick and concrete business, and you change in the middle of it, there's money that's going to be associated with that loss.
Yeah.
Your identity, everything changes.
Yeah.
When you do it in the initial phase of your business plan and you change it, this is where you have the chance of doing it and it not devastating your working capital.
And this is all stuff that the Institute for Entrepreneurial Excellence will help you with.
Absolutely.
So whether it's your market study or your executive summary or just kind of figuring out your margins, like these are all practical things that you can go to Pitt for, and you guys, for very little money, will help you with. We'll talk about sort of the fee structure, because I think people worry that there's going to be costs.
Well, if you come in, and it all depends on the level of service you get, and that has so much to do with it. If you come in and let's say that it's just a business plan development, quite frankly, there's no fee for our consulting services, depending on what stage you're in. If you are truly a startup, we do have a program called the First and Second Step. They're each 2.5 hours long. They're scheduled 2 weeks apart because you're going to have some work to transition to it. That program is $50. Now, if you need some substantial help where we're helping you on a regular basis, well, we would talk to you, and trust me, our rates are not competitive. They're more than competitive.
Yeah.
Our goal is to help you. We get funding from the state and the local governments. Our goal is to help you succeed.
So it's there's a social good component to the funding attached to you guys, right? So
Absolutely.
You're not there to make money on the backs of small businesses who need services. You're there to provide services to small business. That's your mandate from the funders who give you your money that pays your salary.
That's exactly right. I appreciate that, Josh. I would say that as hard as, and it's funny, is when you talk to an entrepreneur, they hear the statement, oh, it's easy to start a business. It truly is. It's staying in business that's the real trick. The one thing that I would stress to you is I need your listeners to think about this, is that every business actually has two sides. And there is the good and the goods or services that you produce that you have the expert in, and that's the thing that you wake up every morning you do. This is what makes me. This is my niche. This is what pain I solve. For my clients, for the community. And then there's the business of the business, and this is part of that I see on a pretty regular basis, where the person is an expert in whatever they're doing, but sometimes they have a hard time remembering to pay Duquesne Light.
Yeah.
Nothing against Duquesne Light, but it's that type of things. And this is why we talk about, you're going to need a lawyer and a CPA, because you need to go out and do what you do so well. You just got to remember your business deserves as much attention as you're willing to give to your clients.
Cool. So how would somebody engage you guys? Like, what's the easiest way to get in touch with you?
I would suggest that you call area code 412-648-1542. And then you can ask the administrator that takes the call, let them know if you're interested in the Small Business Development Center and some of the other programs we have there, and they'll be more than glad to help you send it.
And everybody should talk to you. There's no reason not to go talk to you guys, to the other Small Business Development Centers. You will learn so much by having these kind of engagements if you're trying to get something off the ground. And even if you're an existing business, right? Like if you're a struggling existing business.
Absolutely. I would, that's the other side of the coin, is that, you have your EIN and you're an LLC and some of the other startup issues that we can help you with. But all of a sudden, your inventory is run out of control. We have businesses, and I can think of one where, when they started off, they had a list of products they sold. And even if the products expired and they got rid of them, they reordered the same amount, and they kept this vicious cycle. And it was part of their main problem was inventory control. These are some of the ideas we can help you with. I had a trucking company that their expenses were running out of hand, and it ended up being that they didn't have controls over their gas cards. And it's sometimes it's a very simple thing, sometimes it's not. But the bottom line is that as a business, you would do very well to start in an SBDC. The one thing I will tell you is that we cannot help nonprofits.
Okay.
The Robert Morris University Bayer Center for Nonprofits is an excellent resource for the nonprofit community.
Well, and it's just about engagement, right? Like, so what the biggest mistake we see people making is that they don't get an outside perspective on the things that they're doing. Like, everybody needs an editor. Everybody needs to have somebody whispering in their ear that, you're a little crazy. Stop doing it that way. And we can't emphasize enough that, like, you guys have played a huge part in the development of Crowdosaurus and our business as well. Just being an outside voice, giving perspective, a measured response. So thanks for jumping in.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
I'll send you a link to this, and you'll be able to use it as you see fit.
Thank you.